My name is Luther Elmore, and I am president of ASME, the Union of Retired State of Texas Employees. Progress Texas gives an informative, objective view of issues that I value greatly, and I enjoy listening to them. Progress Texas can help us lead the way, and we need to get on board and kick ass and win this state for the people of Texas.
It's Tuesday, June 30th, 2026, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Progress Texas amplifies progressive values, leaders, and actions through our no paywall podcasts and digital media. We reach millions of Texans monthly, and that's made possible by folks like you who invest in independent progressive media by Texans for Texans. Huge thanks to Susan Loft and Clayton Tucker and Nancy M. Daniels for their ongoing sustaining support. So now we're picking on nuns. We've all heard the saying, the cruelty is the point, but sometimes the cruelty veers into the range of true surreality in a way that makes one wonder what the true message is. Perhaps it's that for the current powers that be, nobody, and I mean nobody, is off limits when it comes to spectacles of victimization. Marian Navarro at Texas Public Radio says Trump's ICE agents detained a Catholic nun on her way to Sunday Mass in the Rio Grande Valley over this last weekend. Sister Letty Ugboja, a member of the Daughters of Mary, Mother of Mercy congregation at Our Lady of Sorrows Church in McAllen, the very sweet picture of kindness, compassion, and mercy Sister Letty is, was seized from the street and imprisoned as though she is a dangerous criminal invader over the weekend. South Texas lawmakers, including Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar, who caught word of this, called the matter to the attention of Department of Homeland Security boss and Trump lackey Markwayne Mullin to secure her quick release, which was arranged. Texas civil rights advocates and progressive leaders are highlighting that the arrest of a nun, for God's sake, shows that even under new DHS management, the callous and aggressive policies of ICE have not ramped down. The League of United Latin American Citizens is calling for a full investigation, but at this point, we're talking about common decency and good versus evil. There's an election coming up in which we all have a chance to vote for the good guys. We've got it all in Donald Trump and Greg Abbott's 2026. There's bad policy that bursts into the forefront in gaudy fashion with the arresting of nuns. And there's bad policy whose rewards develop over decades. Coming out of the weekend's Texas Democratic Convention, I'm still struck at the scale of missed opportunity for the people of Corpus Christi, Texas, hinging upon but certainly not limited to its state of water crisis. For those of you who are there this weekend, you're probably like me and wondering who's really to blame for Corpus not being all that it really should be. And Dylan Bedore at Inside Climate News has a solid and straightforward analysis that pins that water crisis upon decades of systemic accountability failures by Texas political leaders who actively suppressed climate science in order to justify the prioritization of aggressive industrial growth in the Corpus Christi area. All, of course, entirely preventable. For 30 years now, every major drought affecting Corpus has outpaced state models because throughout that time, the Texas Water Development Board, led by Republican gubernatorial appointees, has mandated a deeply flawed methodology that refuses to accommodate intensifying droughts due to progressing climate degradation. Former state officials, including Larry Soward, who has served with the Water Quality Board, the Texas Water Commission, and the Texas Department of Agriculture since the 1970s, and Robert Mace, former deputy executive administrator of the Texas Water Development Board, admit that instructions to ignore climate data came directly from elected politicians, including Governor Rick Perry and Republican members of the Texas legislature. In one instance, a state water plan was rewritten because staff included too much climate science. Instead of safeguarding the public, the legislature rejected climate-based planning, and local leaders even lowered water reserves just to sell more to massive industrial polluters like ExxonMobil. Quite literally, by placing corporate profit and political ideology over scientific reality and the needs of the people, over its continuing 3-decade reign, Texas's GOP-dominated state government has manufactured a catastrophic water supply crisis in Corpus Christi, pushing the region to the absolute brink of running out of water. The city is peering over the edge into the abyss, which creates a sense of all-encompassing unease that's difficult for a visitor to the city not to notice. The State Board of Education is a level of our elected governmental structure that unfortunately most Texans don't spend a lot of time considering, but coming off that vote this week to infuse Bible stories into curriculum at every level of Texas's K-12 public schools, it's striking to hear the language being used out loud by members of that board. Brandon Hall, for example, who's a pastor in North Texas when he's not making hard calls about your kids' school lessons, said it plain as day last week during the board sessions. Quote, "Our nation was founded as a Christian nation and Texas is a Christian state," unquote. Says Sammy Seaman at the Austin Chronicle. A 9-4 vote by the Republican majority State Board of Education mandating a K-12 reading list featuring explicit Bible passages was on party lines, with only one of the 10 members of the Republican supermajority crossing the aisle to vote no with the Democrats. The conservative board members have openly and directly aligned their educational goals with religious exceptionalism and are exuberantly celebrating their successful forcing of Bible stories into your kids' classroom. Once again, there's an election afoot, and with 8 SBOE seats up this November, the political composition of the board does have a chance at change. Democratic challenger Tiffany Perkins is running in District 7 to replace incumbent Republican and Western wear enthusiast Julie Pickren, a longtime thorn in the side of Texas progressive education advocates. In District 8, educator Dana Vanda Walker is challenging incumbent Republican Audrey Young, who also voted in favor of the Bible mandates. In District 14, Democrat Amy Taylor is vying for the open seat being vacated by Republican Evelyn Brooks, while Democrat Thomas Garcia is running in District 2 for the seat currently held by Republican L.J. Francis. Finally, open seats in District 6 and District 9 feature Democratic candidates Michelle Palmer and Erica Ledford, who are looking to flip seats being vacated by retiring Republicans Will Hickman and Kevin Ellis. Dear listener, please do your homework on these races and support the candidates who are doing their best to make the SBOE sane again. We invite you to the website to snag the merch to match your progressive values at our web store. It is live and ready for you to grab our newly released Humans Against Abbott merch. Also, Y'all Means All for Pride Month, and our very popular Resist shirts, stickers, and buttons at the web store at ProgressTexas.org to support your favorite podcast network today. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. When lies in Texas are well funded by the far right, your support for fact-based reporting is needed and appreciated. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a terrific day. We'll catch you again right here tomorrow morning.